Alright guys and gals, I came back for another video. So this is Laurel. I just want to show you how to make barbecue riblets, and it's pork. I'll just show you the box. It's like really heavy. So this is what we got. And it's about 10 pounds. Since it's the two of us, what I did was portion the riblets out into a freezer bag and wrote on the freezer bag that it's pork and then it's raw. So I always put a date on my item when I put it in the freezer, and then I just put it back in the box. So there's my pork riblets. So I will put that back in the freezer when I pause for my break. So it's just the two of us. So I spread them, the riblets, the pork riblets, in a plate so I can put seasonings on them. And then I'm going to make some homemade barbecue sauce. I'm going to use raw honey and some tomato paste, but I'm using organic. So. But I want to season my pork riblets before I put them in the oven at a 350-degree oven for about two hours. So, and then I'm just going to let those cook. I'll keep checking them to make sure they don't burn. So I got a greased baking pan. I'm using grapeseed oil. I use 2 tablespoons on the pan, and I used a pastry brush, and I just spread it around the edges and the bottom of the pan. So I'm going to do this so my spices stay on my meat. Okay, I am using some garlic powder, no salt. I'm going to use a dash of garlic powder on the meat. I'm going to use some onion powder, no salt. I'm going to use a dash. I'm using white pepper, just a dash, on the meat. I'm going to use some Cajun seasoning, just a dash, on the meat. I'm just sprinkling it like you would pepper. I'm going to use some chili powder, just a dash. Okay, the oil that's in the pan, I put a piece of riblet, flipped it over so the seasoning is on the bottom side. I'm going to take the pastry brush and just brush the meat with the oil so my spices stick on the meat. Gotta wash my hands real quick. I'm drying off my hands now. I need to add some spices. Need garlic powder. I'm just gonna use a dash on the meat. And then when this meat is baking in the oven, it'll be a little crispy, which I like it crispy. The little giblets be crispy. Alright, just a dash of onion powder, a dash of white pepper, a dash of Cajun seasoning. God, all my lids are not tight on the auto. That's not a good thing. Alright, so I tightened my lid. So I put a dash of Cajun seasoning. Now I'm going to put these in the oven and bake them for a couple hours. Alright. I'm going to pause for a second. Alright, you guys, I came back, had to clean up a little bit, put some meat away. So I'm also making some barbecue chicken. I'll make another recipe for that as well. So with the ribs, I only have enough for 2 people, so I'm just going 2 servings. So on the riblets, they're in the oven. I added just a 1/4 cup of water to the pan, and then I put it in the oven. Alright, I'm making my barbecue sauce. So I combined a 1/2 cup of green bell pepper and a 1/2 cup of onions. So I blended it all in the food processor. So that's what it looks like. I'm going to add it to a saucepan. And I'll use this water to rinse out this so I can rinse out the container. So I have a cup of water because I'm using tomato paste. So when you're trying to make tomato sauce, you can use tomato paste. I used a 1/2 can. So this is a 1/2 can. I usually freeze it in the freezer. To a cup of water. I have to check. Looked like I had less water. Alright. I'm going to combine my frozen tomato paste to the pot. It's like we're having a hot day here, so this is already unthawed. The tomato paste is thawed out. I gotta wash my hands, I'm messy. Alright, I'm going to combine my spices. I'm going to use garlic powder, no salt. About 1/4 of a teaspoon. 1/4 of a teaspoon of onion powder, no salt. 1/4 of a teaspoon of white pepper. And let's go a 1/2 teaspoon of a 1/2 teaspoon of chili powder. Mix it together. Right, for my sweetener, I am going to use some raw honey. And this stuff is all crystallized, but I'm still going to use it. So I'm going to say about 2 tablespoons of honey. Need those spices. So this is done with the tomato paste can. Sorry, I gotta clean up my sticky counter. Ooh, I hate that. It's like yuck. I'm going to use a 1/2 teaspoon of lemon. In the pot. Okay, I'm gonna cook the barbecue sauce for about 20 minutes. And the barbecue sauce is mild. If you want it spicier, you could add some hot peppers. I just want to show you. This is what it looks like so far. I don't know if you can see it. So I'll do it this way. It is soupy right now because the tomato paste needs to cook for a little while and then it'll get thicker. So I'll be back to taste my barbecue sauce and then we'll look at the ribs that are in the oven. So stay tuned. Alright guys and gals, I came back real quick. I cleaned up the kitchen. I feel better, it's cleaner in here. I'm going to turn off the barbecue sauce. I had it on 3, so about medium-low heat. So I'm going to turn that off. I need before I bring that over. I'm going to take out the meat out of the oven. A little crispy. Whew. That is hot. I'll do it this way. Put that pot holder on the side. I need a thermometer. I hardly ever use this one. I'm like, where's the on and off button? So this is my thermometer. Grab a couple pieces. Yeah, this is done. It says 163. And I'm going to let this cook a little longer in the oven. So if you want to like really done, I'd go 169 with a thermometer. I gotta move some stuff over. And this is your homemade barbecue sauce. So what I do is I take a spoonful and just put some over the meat like this. And then I'll put it back in the oven and let that bake a little bit. So maybe a half an hour more. But I'm going to turn down my heat to 200 so it doesn't make the ribs too dry. Until I'm ready to serve. I'm going to taste some of this sauce. Man, it's really hot though. That's going to be so good on the chicken. Oh, you got to try this barbecue recipe. Barbecue sauce, oh, yum. It's not too spicy. It's tangy and sweet. Oh, yummy. Alright guys. Got your pork ribs. I got some green beans. I put enough water so I know it won't boil dry. So I'm covered there. And that's the green beans I'm using. I cut the top of the bag and I'm going to use this as a tie to keep the bag closed. So I just twist the bag, wrap this piece around the bag, and then I just pull this through and make a knot. Got your homemade tie. Alright you guys, I'm going to put this back in the oven and turn it down to 200 and let it cook for about 30 minutes on 200 so it'll stay warm. And I'll see you guys in the next video. So I turned it on 200 just to keep the meat warm because I don't want it to get over dry. Alright guys and gals, that's my recipe. See you in the next video.